Alright guys, so I received a request on how to play an evening with Ramsey Beyer by Into It Over It. I'm going to do my best to show you guys how to play it. The first part of it's the tuning. The tuning is E flat, G, B flat, E flat, G, B flat. And yeah, let's just start. You're going to start with your ring finger, your middle finger on the 12th fret of the A string and your ring finger on the 12th fret of the G string. And that's going to be your first chord. So it'll be the intro, which is... So what you're doing is that chord shape I just told you, the 12th on the A and 12th on the G, you're going to slide that down to the 5th fret. Then you're going to go the 5th fret of the D string and the 5th fret of the B string. Then you're going to go back to the same chord shape and you're going to go 7th fret on the A and 7th fret on the G. So far you have the 12th, 5th, 5th, 7th, then you go 7th fret of the E and the D, then the 5th fret of the E and the D. So slowly you have so again it's 12, 5, 5 on the G, on the D and the B, 7 on the A and the G, 7 on the E and the D, and then 5 on the E and the D. So it's just that a few times for the intro, over and over. Then it goes back to the 5th on the A and the D, or A and the G, A and G. Then you go to the 3rd fret of the A string and the 4th fret of the G string, and you're muting the D string with that. So you're going, and then you just go open with all of it. Then you do 1st fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the G string, and then you slide that shape up to the 3rd fret. And you strum the open E on top. So far for the intro you have... Then the next part, which is... So that's pretty much the intro of the song. Then you have the first part of the verse, which that starts off with... So what you do there is on the A string, you're going to use the A and the D string for this part. So you go A string, you go from the 8th or the 10th to the 12th, and you go hammer on to the 12th and then pull off to the 10th. Then you put your ring finger back on the D string on the 12th fret. So you're going to go. So you go like that. Next chord is the 7th fret of the E string and the 9th fret of the D string. Then you have 4th fret of the E string, 5th fret of the D string, then the 5th fret of the E, and the 5th of the D again. So you're going to go the hammer on and pull offs, 7th and 9th fret, 4th and 5th fret, then the 5th fret with both the E and the A, or E and the D. Then for the next part, you use this exact chord shape of the 5th fret on the E and the 5th fret on the D, and you slide up to the 9th fret, then down to the 7th. So it'll go... Then you go, it repeats this a few times. Then you go back to the 5th fret on the E string, 5th fret on the D string, and then you go 5th fret on the B string. Then what you do is you take your middle finger and you slide down to the 4th fret of the E string, and you let off with your pinky and you put the 3rd fret of the B string. So you go from here to there, and then open strum except for having your the 3rd fret of the A string. So you'll go hammer on, pull off, the 9th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret with your pinky, then walking it down with your 4th fret and your index finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, then open. Then you're going to slide all the way up here and you go from the 11th fret of the D string to the 12th fret, or I'm sorry, on the G string. And you go 11, 12, 11. Then you go from the 14th to the 12th on the D string. So you'll go and then you go on the 10th fret of the E string and the 12th fret of the D string, and you'll go. And then on the first strum is just that. The second strum, you add your index or your middle finger on the 12th fret of the A string. Then you go to here, and it is your 5th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, and then the 7th fret with your pinky. So you'll have and then it repeats this hammer on and pull off again. And then it goes to a cool little harmonic part, and you do harmonics on the 12th fret, the 7th fret, the 9th fret, and then the 5th fret. So you'll have and then you go back to the 7th fret on the E and the D, and then the 5th fret on the E and the D again. Then it repeats this part again with the hammer-ons and pull-offs. And then you slide down to, you go the 4th fret on the E string and the D string, and then you put your index finger on the 2nd fret of your G string. Then you slide up to the 5th fret on the E and the D, and you put your index finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. So you'll go then he does a fun little riff, and it's a lot of cross plucking. I messed that up really bad. So what you're going to do is you're going to go from the 9th fret on the G string, and you'll pluck that, and then the open E string. Then you'll hit the 10th on the G, and then an open B string. So it's the 8th fret, open, 9th fret, open, 9th, open, 10, open. Then you go on the 10th fret of the A string, and you go 10, open G, 10, open B. Then you go 7 on the E, or 9 on the E, 8 on the A, 7 on the D, and then an open B, so you'll go. Then you slide down to 3rd fret on the A string, 4th on the D string, and then he'll hit an open G string, and then you'll do a hammer onto the 2nd fret. So slowly you have then from there you go back to this chord again. So it's 5 on the A, or on the E, the D, and the B string. Back to the one that's the 4, and then the 5 on the D string, and then the 3rd on the B. And then everything but the 3rd fret of the A string is open on the last part. Then you're going to take this same chord shape, but you're going to slide it up to the 7th fret. Slide it down to the 5th, so you'll go. Then you'll slide up to the 9th fret with the E string and the D string, and you'll hit the 8th fret on the B string. So you'll go. Then you'll slide down and you'll do the same chord shape, but you'll do it on the 2nd fret. So you have the E string, D string, and B string. And then you'll slide all the way up to the 14th fret with the same chord shape. So you'll go. Then your chord is the 5th fret of the E, 6th fret of the A, 7th fret of the D. So you'll go. And then you're going to add the 9th fret on the D string. Then you'll go back to this chord, which is 5, 5, 5, 7. So recapping that part. Everything's open but 3rd fret of the A string. Then you'll hammer on. So you'll go open, hammer on the D, or the 2nd fret of the G string. Then you'll hammer on the 4th fret of the G string. And then you'll slide the 7th or 8th fret on the A and 7th fret on the G. So you'll go. So one more time you have. And yeah, that'll be it for part 1. I'll cover the 2nd part